Joining me now in studio is Michigan Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist. Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, good to see you, sir.
Glad to be here with you.
Yeah, so I want to first start off with your reaction to some news that came out this morning involving Michigan House Speaker Joe Tate. He dropped out of the race for Senate. What was kind of your reaction when you first heard the news?
Well, I think that when he was Speaker, he was been an amazing public servant as both Speaker of the House and as a representative that he continues. And so I'm happy that he's been able to serve the state of Michigan the way that he has.
Yeah, for you, when you look at this, someone like the former House Speaker dropping out, what do you think of the Democrats' chances to win over that seat and keep control?
You have a fantastic opportunity here to hold on to that seat, keep it in Democratic hands, which is going to be important because the United States Senate and the Michigan senator in particular will have an important role to play in pushing back against President Donald Trump, against the senators, the Republican senators who are just imitating and doing whatever the president wants to hurt people in the state of Michigan in particular. These cuts to Medicaid are going to kick thousands of people off of their health care here in Southwest Michigan. These cuts to food assistance are going to make people go hungry. I worry about people who, already are struggling with addiction or homelessness who are not going to be served because this president has attacked them directly, and the Senate is going to need to be an important backstop, and the next Michigan senator will play an important role in that.
Well, speaking of 2026, I want to ask you too, you're running for governor. I'll just ask a broad question. Why?
Well, look, I've been to all 83 counties in Michigan at least 3 times. And what I hear is Michiganders who want to know that we can build communities where people can stay and succeed, where they can pursue their dream of health and wealth and opportunity. And I think, frankly, it's up to all of us to make that happen. We talk about the issues of making this an affordable state where you can afford to get a home, either buy a home or rent one, where you can afford to buy your groceries, where you can afford to pursue the education and the training that you need to get the job that you want or build the business that you dream to start. I'm running for governor to make that happen, to solve the problems and to remove the barriers that stand between people and those possibilities. I'm an engineer. I'm a problem solver. I make systems work for people. And this system has not worked for too many people in Michigan. I'm going to help them fix it.
Well, let me zero in on affordability because you talked about that. Homelessness has really been described as a crisis here in West Michigan by some of our community leaders. I talk with people on the streets. They say that's kind of a big issue for them. What are you going to do to make life more affordable for Michiganders and to hopefully keep people off the streets and let them have an affordable place to live?
Let's talk about where this comes from. It comes from skyrocketing housing prices that are impacting Southwest Michigan. And frankly, it's happening in a lot of communities. It comes from the cutting of services for people who are struggling with addiction or mental health services. I've already done some work to try to address that, using our state's Community Development Housing Trust Fund to bring online more units of housing more quickly, more programs to support temporary and permanent supportive housing. More people are getting connected to more services. I know that here in Kalamazoo, for example, we have almost 90% of the people who are homeless or don't have a home are being served in a shelter, but that's just more demand, and that's not a permanent solution. So we have to make sure we can bring on more affordable units online, which I'm going to do as the next governor. Make sure we have more service available to people, especially who are struggling with mental health challenges or addiction. So I'm going to build on the foundation that I've laid with the Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinic program. That's built 40 new centers all across the state of Michigan, including in Southwest Michigan. Make sure people can get the help they need and the support they need to get on their feet and be able to get the kind of job that allows them to afford to live here.
Well, and as you know, an important part of being governor is having a budget to work with. So I want to talk a little more about that. Education funding, road repair funding has kind of been tied up in Lansing. If you were governor, not only how would you deal with this situation, but are you confident something will get done soon in Lansing?
Well, certainly, I absolutely, as the next governor of Michigan, my job is to deliver and solve problems and make systems work for people, and breaking through those kind of log jams, even like the one we're dealing with right now, that is the pure result of Republican intransigence from Speaker Matt Hall, who has no interest in governing or legislating, only in playing political games. And that's playing with the present and the future of kids in Michigan right now who need to be able to have confidence that they're going to have breakfast and lunch available to them at school, something that is going to make a big difference on the outcomes that these kids have. When they're not hungry, they can focus, they can become better readers and better leaders. So no, I'm going to work to make sure we get that done.
Another big issue right now, President Donald Trump has implemented several different tariffs. I know you've been outspoken on how you believe that'll make prices more expensive for people here in Michigan. What are some of the concerns that you're hearing from people like
It's
this?
more than a belief. It is the truth. We have seen businesses across the state of Michigan, from a furniture maker in West Michigan to auto suppliers in the Detroit area, who have had to close down. There was, Herman Miller, a furniture maker Howard Miller, that existed for 100 years. They closed down because of these tariffs and what it does to business. That's 100 people who are losing their jobs in West Michigan because of this president's disastrous, dangerous, and chaotic policies. We got to stand up to that here in Michigan. There's a reason why I've been holding town halls in Republican congressional districts, because the Republicans certainly aren't doing it. Heising is not doing it. John James is not doing it. Tom Barrett's not doing it. But I am listening to Michiganders and letting them know that I'm going to fight for them to make sure that this administration, that this president, his regime, that they know that the voice of Michiganders need to matter going forward.
The president says that these tariffs will ultimately help out down the line. Are you buying that it'll bring more American jobs?
I'm literally seeing Michiganders lose their jobs today in an ongoing way. So no, I can't. I don't see that. What I see instead is him failing people, is him hurting people, is him kicking people off of their health care just so they can get an extended tax cut to the most ridiculously wealthy, mega rich billionaires in this country and the biggest corporations. No, instead we need to be focused on helping people and putting money in their pockets at a time when things are so expensive, and that's not what this president's focused on.
One more question I do have. I want to focus on the District 35 Senate race. Obviously, District 35 is parts of Bay, Midland, and Saginaw counties. There have been talks about potentially a special election. We've heard people in that part of the state say, hey, why is there no special election to fill that seat which was left vacant by Kristen McDonald-Rivet when she began her new job in Congress? As governor, would you want a special election if you were in that position right now? And why has there not been one so far?
Well, the governor will declare that special election when she's prepared to do so.
I know some people have said, including the Democratic Party chair, has said, quote, we're being taxed, but we have no representative in the state Senate. I think that's egregious. Your response to that?
Like I said, the governor is going to be able to declare the election. That's her prerogative, and she'll do that.
All right. Well, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, we could talk all day. I really do appreciate your time today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you.